this on my server. So I'm just going to open up my server. I'm going to hit refresh. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, just waiting for it to load up. And there you can see as a result, height is 350, height is by default, so the second one was default, so it's 50, height is 1351, is height 80. So that is when you use the default argument inside of a defined function. It's getting quite interesting, isn't it? Now the next thing we're going to have a look at is PHP functions returning values. Now that is to let a function return a value, we're going to use the return statement. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that. So I'm going to start off by writing function sum $x, $y, and then I'm going to open up that function. I'm going to write $z equals $x plus $y. And then we're going to say return $z. Okay, so then we're going to say echo 5 plus 10 equals dot sum, comma 5, and we're going to put in a BR. Okay, then we're going to say echo 7 plus 13, and we're going to say sum dot sum 7 comma 13 and BR, and then we're going to say echo 2 plus 4, sum 2 and 4 and BR. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to hit save, and let's have a look at what our results would be. Okay, so you would see that the results are going to be quite strange. It's going to just show a returning value, and it's going to return the value of z. And you can see that we have the string at the first strings is 7 plus 5, and then we said sum 5 to 10 is very much like Excel. So it's giving a returning value of the following values. So that is basically having a look at a returning value. Now, we're going to have a look at the next subject, and the next subject is PHP arrays. Now this is where it starts getting fun. PHP arrays. So an array stores multiple values in one single variable. This is quite nice because now you're kind of like squeezing up your programming. So in essence, we will have a look at how we can use arrays to our benefit. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to have a look at an example, and we have used arrays in the previous past, and I've showed you the basics of arrays. So that is what we're going to have a look at. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to start with is creating or bringing back the array that we've created in the past. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to create a new document, and we're going to save as, and I'm going to save it as an array.php, and basically I'm going to paste this that we've created in the previous videos, and I'm going to put it in context of the HTML parentheses. So I'm just going to create that. I'm going to close the body tag, and I'm going to close the HTML tags as well. I'm going to hit save, and basically we went and created this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go navigate to that certain page. Okay, and when we go to that certain page, we can see how the array works. Volvo being 0, BMW being 1, and Toyota being 2, and that's what we say. We say I like car 0, 1, and 2. And that's basically what we did over here, and that's what will be displayed. So now, let's chat about this. An array is a special variable that can hold one or more variables at a time. So if we list the item, and for this case, we have Volvo, BMW, and Toyota. Storing the cars in a single variable could look like, for instance, let me give an example. like this. Okay, so we would say cars 1, 2, and 3, and we would store it like that. But however, um, what if we want to loop through the cars and find a specific one? And what if you had not 3 cars but 300? The solution is basically to create an array. Now, an array can hold many variables, like I said, as under a single name. Now, you can create and you can access the variables by referring to the index of the number. Okay, so let's have a look at create an array. Let's have a look at creating an array. Now, in PHP, the array function is used to create an array. So array, just going to write that array. That's how we define an array, like that, in line number 16. Now, in PHP, there are 3 types of arrays. You have the indexed arrays, arrays with a numerical index. You've got the associative arrays, which is arrays with named keys. And then you've got multi-decimal arrays, and that's arrays that contain 1 or more arrays. Now, let's have a look at PHP indexed arrays. Now, there are 2 ways to create an indexed array. The index can be assigned automatically. Index always starts at 0. So a good example of that would be, for instance, like this. So you've got cars equals array Volvo BMW, exactly the same as on line 13. Just going to clean that up. Now, that's one way of doing it, or you can actually assign it manually. So assigning something manually would look something like this. So you would go cars 0, Volvo, cars 1, BMW, cars 2, Toyota. There is quite a couple of reasons why we would assign it manually, so don't think that you will never use that. Okay, now the following example that I'm going to show you is an indexed array. So this example right here is an indexed array, and it is named cars, as you can see in line number 13, and it assigns 3 elements to it. We can see it then prints the following: be it cars 0, cars 1, and cars 2. Okay. Now, to get the length of the array, the count, we're going to use basically the count function. So we're going to say the count function is used to return the length, the number of elements of an array. So an example of that would be cars equals array. Let me just copy this over for you so you can have a look at it. So I'm just going to remove this and show you the other one. Just remove that. Okay, so we're going to say $cars array Volvo W BMW, and then we're just going to say echo count. And then what do we want to count? We want to count cars, very similar to Excel count functions, count if functions. Now, the other thing is loop through an indexed array. To loop through and print all the values of an indexed array, you could use the for loop like this. So let me show you. Just going to remove this, and I'm going to paste this example. So basically what I did is I said cars is an array, Volvo, BMW, Toyota, and then I said array length equals counts, and then what does it need to count? It needs to count the cars. Then I created a loop, so I created a for loop. So I said for $x0 and the $x smaller than our length, and then I said increment that please. So with the plus